Hi, everyone. So, I'm taking a look here at Mooji.org in English because I guess the website is in multiple languages. And so, scrolling down a little bit, and we come to this thing called Sahaja Express. And for those who don't know, Sahaj or Sahaja means natural, meaning referring to our natural state of being. Sahaja Express. And it has this cute picture of Mooji like hugging himself and with this big grin. Sahaja Express is where Mooji's most direct and intimate, spontaneous talks are shared. Sahaja Express is not for the merely curious, but for those beings who are in a state of discipleship with satsang deeply embedded in the heart. If I'm reading, by the way, from the website, if you are already following the master's guidance and seeing his pointings bearing fruit, then Sahaja Express is for you. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. Let's learn more. I'm clicking on the button that says learn more. And then there's a video from Mooji, which we'll take a look at in a sec. Sahaja Express is where Mooji's most direct and intimate, not infinite, intimate, spontaneous talks are shared. Oh, and not only that, it says master's grace to you and see you on the screen. Oh, it sounds so good. Yes, I want this. Subscribe with a 1 month free trial. Monthly package with a 1 month free trial. Monthly subscription, £20, which comes out to about $26. What? Okay, I was just pretending like this was the first time I read it, but so yeah, so I was shocked to find this, but not shocked. I mean, this is basically enlightenment for sale. I mean, the language is so manipulative and ridiculous. So this is not for the merely curious, but for those beings who are in a state of discipleship with satsang deeply embedded in their hearts. Okay, that's just made up bullshit. A state of discipleship with satsang embedded in their hearts. I mean, Mooji's poetic. Let's say what you will say about Mooji, but he is a very poetic. And if you are already following the master's guidance. So the thing is, you know, the word master, you can get a master's in college and you get a degree. But, in terms of, masters in martial arts or in spiritual teaching, there's only one way you can legitimately be called a master, and that's another master says you're one. So any self-proclaimed master is actually what they're doing is they're proclaiming that they're not a master. No one would claim that. Um, no one would claim that unless that was, you know, like I can't go and say like I have a master's in spirituality without a legitimate institution behind me. And the same thing goes for spiritual teaching. Any teacher that says they're a master just automatically has just proven that they're not a master. The fact that, you know, Mooji should pay attention. Mooji should fucking pay attention to his teacher, Papaji. And excuse my French, but this is over the top. Papaji wouldn't even take donations at satsang because Papaji said it completely taints it. It completely corrupts. And I'm paraphrasing, I don't know Papaji's exact words, but he wouldn't even accept donations for satsang because Papaji knew something. That as soon as you take money and you're teaching liberation, it's just twisted beyond words. But apparently Mooji didn't really pay much attention to Papaji because Mooji and a couple of these other Advaita teachers thought that Papaji gave them permission to teach, when actually Papaji said, go out and spread the message, meaning tell people about me and tell people about what's going on. But some of these people like Mooji like completely misinterpreted it and said, oh, that means I'm supposed to go out and teach. That means I'm enlightenment, when Papaji never said any such thing. So um, someone who I've made connection with, who's also critical about Mooji and is sort of spreading the word, he's in dialogue with a couple devotees, and there's one devotee who said, there's nothing that will ever have me doubt Mooji's purity. And that is insanity. That's a closed belief system, okay? A closed belief system is a closed belief system is almost by definition a disconnect from reality. It's saying, I'm going to have an idea, and no matter what reality shows me, I'm going to stick with my idea over reality. Ay caramba. So, I recently had someone post with all these guesses as to what they weren't expressed as guesses, they were expressed as, you're making these videos because. Why do I make these videos? First and foremost, I started out like, hey, there's something wrong going on here. I need to warn people and protect people. That was my initial. And now what it's come to is making these videos is liberating. It's looking insanity in the eye. And right now I'm just looking, I'm still on the webpage. I'm looking at this picture of Mooji smiling at me like, it's looking insanity in the eye and saying no to it and speaking what's true. And I'm not talking speaking what's true in some like esoteric spiritual sense of the word. I'm talking about speaking what's true, like it's wrong to charge money. It's one thing to charge money for a spiritual service like acupuncture or energy work. Um, those things aren't about liberation. Those things are about health and wellness. And it's fine to charge money for a service. To charge money, see, it's like this. So basically, so samsara, which is not just the cycles of rebirth, but the state, the state of consciousness of being separated from God, is like being in a burning house. It's like drowning in the ocean. That's what samsara is like. It doesn't that, and samsara is so tricky that it won't seem that way in every moment. But that's what the state of disconnection from God, that's what the state of unenlightenment is. It's being a drowning person in a sea. It's like being trapped in a burning house. And so for some joker like Mooji to charge money for liberation is the same thing, and I'm looking right at his picture right now. To charge money to supposedly lead people to enlightenment is the same thing as someone being drowning in a sea and you pulling up to them in a boat and them reaching out for help and you saying, I'll only help you once you give me money. It's the same thing. I see it, Mooji. Other people are seeing it. Part of waking up is discernment. And that Mooji devotee who said, I will never question, nothing will ever lead me to doubt Mooji's purity. That person's trapped until they literally cannot wake up. So if you want to, I'm gonna make another video on this, but if you want to, so here's what I'm gonna say. Any person who's not fully liberated, from my point of view and the point of view of Hinduism and Buddhism, You are a drowning person in a turbulent ocean called samsara or called Maya. Different words, different traditions, same meaning. And if you want to be rescued by someone who will pull up to you in a boat and say, "Hey, give me your money, your devotion," and if the accusations are correct, and you're a hot young female, "Give me your body." If that's the kind of person you want to pull you out of samsara, then go hang out with Mooji. Go watch Mooji videos. And if you're not, there's plenty of other good teachers out there. It's not my job to recommend a teacher to anyone, but the teachings of Ramana Maharshi was obviously a pure soul, and yeah. So and let's do the math here. So $26. Mooji is the most popular spiritual teacher on the planet. $26 a month. If he has 100 subscribers, that's 2,600. That's $2,600 US dollars a month. If he has 1,000 subscribers, that's $26,000 a month. And what is that per year? That's over $250,000 a year. So let's see what Mooji Baba has to say about Sahaja Express in his own words. Let's hear his sales pitch.
Sahaja Express actually came into being some while ago because it was felt that we do so many recordings here, and 90% of them are just totally spontaneous. As I'm moving about in the land, and sometimes we're working in the field or something, and then someone may just ask a question, and right there, someone wakes up.
Okay, but why do you have to charge money for it? So, okay, they're spontaneous. Why not just upload them and let people view them for free? So, look what Mooji did there. He said, Sahaja Express came into being because all these spontaneous satsangs happen. But actually, that doesn't explain how Sahaja Express came into being. This is a paid subscribed service. So, how it came into being is you want to make money.
And very often, it was found that these satsangs, they were quite wrong. And unlike the more formal satsangs, not different in content, but very often, because we were actually talking with people who have been in satsang for some time, and whose spiritual understanding was more ripe.
I see. Once you're more ripe, then you get to pay money. Once you've made it through, now I'm starting to understand the Mooji movement. So the first level is like going to satsangs and listening to videos. Then the second level is once you're more ripe, then you get to pay money to Mooji every month to get the more raw teachings. And of course, the next level is possibly the worst level. That's living at Mooji's it's a Haja Monte, and then I don't even want to think about what's beyond that. The people who are basically Mooji's servants. I mean, that's what the accusations say. So now we're starting to understand how the Mooji movement operates.
And then that is often found to be the case. Go to YouTube. The satsangs I felt contain much more depth sometimes, and we did not really need to edit so much because it was just going out to the people who are living in Pasha. And if you can understand that sometimes we would have a satsang, and it was so spontaneous, we don't have enough time to call everyone on the land. Everyone spread out.
I'm still waiting for the explanation about why it's being charged, why there's a monthly fee for it. But I'm starting to feel sick to my stomach. So I'm not going to watch anymore. Of course, you can watch the rest of this, although I wouldn't recommend it. I have a very have a very gifted friend who's an energy healer who has looked at the energetics of how Mooji operates and says it's just, um, I mean, just psychic vampirism, long and short of it. That's a really simple answer. So yeah. So again, if you wanna, Mooji, just listen to Papaji. Papaji saw it so clearly that money and satsang don't mix. And not only do they not mix, completely corrupts it. But that's the thing about being Mooji. And that's the thing about being a Neo-Advaita. Any Advaita teacher would tell you this. Mooji just makes stuff up. And he's very poetic. And that's great for a poet. And that's great for a painter. And that gift in service for a fully awakened being, that could be useful. In the hands of a partially awakened being, it's a shit show. And so, welcome to the shit show of Mooji. Liberation for money. Layers within layers of manipulation. Again, Sahaja Express is not for the merely curious, but for those beings who are in a state of discipleship with satsang deeply embedded in their hearts. That is so twisted. He didn't even say a state of discipleship with satsang with Mooji. It's almost like Mooji's trying to corner, like as if he's saying that true satsang is only with Mooji. I'd say the second Mooji devotee I got to know said that Mooji is the light of the world. And that's what I'm finding more and more. The more I go into this, a lot of Mooji devotees think of Mooji as the same as Jesus Christ, as the one and only, as the highest of high. And okay, that's enough. That's enough junk. So, in a sense, I don't recommend anyone going to the Mooji website and watching the rest of that video because the languaging. There are people out there, and there's a clinical hypnotherapist who's looking at this who says that Mooji's basically using trance induction in his word choice and in his very mellow tone that presents things in a way that draws you in, that leads you to think, oh, this person is very awake. Oh, they could help me. It's very easy to do. And doesn't it draw you in? Doesn't it awaken something into you? Just take a look at ASMR videos. It's a way of speaking, just playing with voice and sound that has a um, profound impact on your brain and actually just gets you high. So I don't know if Mooji's doing this stuff consciously or not. I like to think he's not. I like to think he's just someone seeking love, approval, and appreciation who's just found some tricks that work, and that he's not manipulating and doing this stuff consciously, I hope. All right, friends, that's enough stream of consciousness rambling for me. If you want enlightenment, just go ahead and buy it from Mooji because he's selling it. I hope everyone knows that's a joke.